guys are kids. I can't do that. I can't do that voice. I don't know how Christian Bale did
You're
it.
gonna destroy your vocal
All those
cords.
movies. I know. So, welcome to the episode of Frack the Canon, where we go back to the 90s. We're going to go talk about Batman animated. Before we begin, kids, remember the drinking game. If we touch our face, say or like, as we always do. I know this is hard to do as we're in the middle of the don't touch your face season, but
My beard's really itchy, so I'm sorry. Everyone.
I didn't realize how much I touched my face until I was editing those episodes. I'm like, oh, I touch my face a lot.
I haven't trimmed my nose hairs yet, so it's gonna happen. All right.
Some bats in the cave.
Right.
Nice.
So, thank you. So, remember the drinking game. Every time we touch, say or like. Take a shot, take a drink of your poison. All righty.
Every time we say everyone's going to be smashed.
Dude, have you not seen our episodes in the past? I'm trying to say. So, I just found out today that we're being
watched.
Streamed. Yeah, on Twitch. Oh,
on tweet.
I can talk. Well, that is off-putting. Alrighty. So we're going back to talk about the 90s, the Batman, the one true Batman, Kevin Conroy as Batman.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Yes, I just said that. I can't believe that. Alrighty. So the first thing that comes to my mind to start us off is that amazing intro of just that the WB shield turning into that
like the big lighthouse blimp.
Zeppelin.
Oh man!
And then it just done.
I remember it frame for frame, dude.
Yes.
I don't even have to watch it. I see it.
That intro is just so like pretty much he took that animated short and made the intro, and that just totally blew it away. That was to me like the beginning of or I remember that was like, what is this awesomeness? It was definitely a palate cleanser of the 66 Batman. Because I remember to watch Batman.
Yes.
Was it Batman and Robin or just Batman?
I thought it was called Batman and Robin. Maybe no, it was just Batman.
Batman, right? But why did I think Batman and Robin though? But for some reason, yeah. But anywho,
is it a Schumacher film?
No, the 66 show.
No, I was thinking that's probably why, because it was like equally corny.
Something I appreciated about that intro was that the fact that was through and through. That was the intro for all seasons of the show. They never updated it. They never changed it.
It did update. It did update and it did change.
When they added Robin,
I thought that there was that. I thought that was the. Oh, go ahead.
It changed a couple of seasons, but now I can say this, John. There is like a caveat there in that they changed the name of the show too.
Yep.
So technically, it's not necessarily what you're saying is technically true because it was Batman animated series. But then they changed it to first they changed it to like the Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Yep.
And when they did that, they changed the intro to just clips of the series.
Of them fighting, right. Yeah.
And then it became the new Adventures of Batman and Robin, right?
It became the new Adventures of.
I just remember. Batman. I remember on even the DVDs that I had how like they would even play that one, like they would play the intro even before the clips intro. So I had taken it that it was like a posthumous, but interesting.
Yeah, no, and then that's when they did the big revamp of the characters of their. When they revamped Joker to have those little black eyes, it was very simplistic, for lack of a better word. I'm like, I don't like this. Like I like that.
It's like Flash. They changed to like Flash animation instead of like the hand drawn.
Yeah, kinda. It still looks cool, but I'm like, it still. I just wasn't a fan of the Joker's slick hair, and I'm like, no.
Cheaper and animate.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I see you rocking the Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But what about that update? Like, at least, I mean, it did. You know, I think there was some good parts of it too. Obviously, if they were like continuing to add.
Yeah, I mean, if your show's so high in quality, if you just drop a little bit, you're still pretty great.
Right.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying.
What stood out to me most about the intro is the Danny Elfman score.
That's a great. I love that score. I think I prefer though the live action score than the animated score.
Okay.
Only because that to me is a little bit more. I don't know what's the word.
Was grander.
Yeah. What was that, Renee?
Grander, like it's more grand.
It is more grand. It is more
Yeah.
grand. It's a lot more.
It's kind of theatrical, even, I would say, because especially, I mean, I feel like this was also, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the kind of one of the first times we watched, you know, a property that was owned was able to share likenesses with the fact that, like, you know, watching the movie as a kid, you know, watching Batman and Batman Returns, and then going into like the series always felt very like it always felt like a smooth transition. You know, I felt like the fact that Warner Brothers had so many things tied in there, I felt like they were able to, you know, like for me, when I watch, it said Batman Returns, and I have the one from Batman Returns here. Or is this the OG Batman, or is this Batman Returns?
I think it's
That's
the same.
the OG. Yeah, the both Tim
They're
Burton
both
ones
the same.
were
They did the only thing.
Yeah.
But I just felt like there was always that same continual, especially in that 90s, where it's like you felt like in a way they were kind of, you know, the animated series was definitely honoring, you know, what Tim Burton had already done.
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
especially that kind of gothic feel, and like just the dark and moodiness that like definitely changed it so much from the 60s Batman, from even like those, even,
Oh, yeah.
you know, even the comics didn't get super dark until later, you know, like in
Until-
some ways they were like, what, it was like the
Until
early
Dark
80s,
Knight
mid
Returns.
80s.
Yeah, Dark Knight Returns kind of like boom, turn on the light. Dark Knight
And
Returns and Killing Joke.
And we were definitely very fortunate, I feel like, for the sake that not only did like our parents kind of have something to watch as this medium that eventually we as kids would be able to consume, which, you know, some, like, I mean, I saw it when I probably shouldn't have. I had nightmares when Danny DeVito bites that dude's nose off when he bites his nose off in that political rally. That like haunted me as a kid. So I always liked the cartoon Penguin more, because Danny DeVito scares the shit out of me when I was a kid, like, you know. But being able to watch those in tandem, I didn't feel like I got that at all with a lot of other mediums. Like even watching the Christopher Reeves Superman movies and then seeing the early DC Superman cartoons with JLA, I didn't feel like there was that same handoff. I feel like that was what was really special to me as a Batman fan, because he was my favorite, was the fact that, you know, it was almost like I was looking at him in these other mediums where I had Michael Keaton Batman, who I absolutely loved, and then I had my Kevin Conroy Batman, who was like, I had like two dads almost at that point. I'm not talking about my real dad. I'm talking about two Batman dads. So two Bat dads. So, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was very unique for us as, you know, as kids watching a medium that, like, I mean, nowadays you have something like that where some Marvel live action characters will voice stuff in cartoons, but it's just not, I don't feel like it's as impactful, you know?
Well, it's funny you say that, because, well, we're going off topic, but I don't care. Well, I might make it 2 episodes. Michael Keaton coming back as his Batman in the Flash movie.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently, so I just read an article that it might be Kingdom Come Batman.
Ooh.
I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, because they just did that in the Arrowverse crossover, where Kevin Conroy played Kingdom Come Batman.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask our very own Catwoman. What do you think? Renee, that's you. Because you get the cat ears.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What was the question again? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Your thoughts on Michael Keaton coming back as the Batman, the one true live action Batman? Yeah, I do. I'll stay with that statement.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Like, I'm looking forward to it, because that's definitely like the homage I'm looking forward to.
I would have thought that he would have, at least since they got Conroy in for that crossover, that, like, because watching Batman Beyond and having Conroy usher in Terry, you know, I thought would have I kind of, when I heard Conroy was coming back, I was like, oh, is this like a tease that, like, are they going to try to do that arc, like the, you know, future Gotham, you know, down the line, like we've seen these different iterations of, and I feel like that would have been a really cool spin if that would have been kind of the Batman we would see, would be Old Man Bats, who's like, you know, trying to pass the torch.
I agree. CJ, your thoughts? Like, we're way off topic, but
I know. I'm like, wait, what are my thoughts on?
I thought we were talking about the animated.
Yeah, we're talking about animated.
We're talking about Michael Keaton coming back.
Okay, Michael Keaton coming back. Listen. Look, I grew up on that Batman. You know what I mean? Like, that was the Batman of my childhood. In like 10 years, 15 years ago, if I heard this news, I'd be stoked. Now I hear this news and I'm like, what do I care, dude? Like Michael Keaton, I like Michael Keaton, but you know what? I like Christian Bale more. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Do you think it's pandering to?
It is. It really is. I think the only you're doing it because
I think them picking anybody who's already stepped into that role. I think them picking George Clooney would have been considered pandering.
You know who I miss? Val Kilmer.
Yes.
Oh,
he was a good guy.
Poor guy. He got really fat. No one wanted to hire him anymore.
Poor guy. He was hot in his day. I mean,
Iceman.
in my
I liked his
opinion,
portrayal of Bruce Wayne. I really liked his portrayal of Bruce.
I did.
feel like he
I
definitely
was so disappointed that. Yeah,
He
I
kind
was
of
so
had the
disappointed.
1,000-yard stare in the Batman Forever. I feel like we were seeing the Bruce Wayne who's kind of like, you know, he's there, he is at the charity race, like the fundraisers and stuff, but all he can think about is like, I gotta go get the suit on. Like, I hate.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I don't know if any of you have ever watched the like when they re-released Batman Forever on like, I don't know, Blu-ray or something. There's like a whole slew of like new special features and stuff that they brought with them. But I watched that and I watched the deleted scenes on it, and
Oh wow.
some of the stuff that they took out of that movie makes it so much better. Like there are a couple of threads that they're kind of pulling on in the theater. I mean, in the movie version, the theatrical version, that are never paid off. But you see them in the deleted scenes, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, but they took them out because it was darker. It made the movie darker. And I forgot exactly what happened, because he has that whole thing that he's going to Chase Meridian,
Right.
The psychiatrist. He
Right.
has that whole
Was
thing
that
that he's
Nicole
going.
Kidman?
Yeah. He has that whole thing that he's
name?
going to see her for. You know what I mean? That is like, that's plaguing him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that just kind of
Right.
just
It
dropped
goes
that whole thread.
It's away. Yeah, it doesn't. Nothing comes of it. It's the only to introduce them to each other.
Right.
It doesn't play out in his art.
In the deleted scenes, it's something like they kind of tie his parents' death to him, like make it his fault kind of a thing.
I was gonna
and
say,
that's what he's dealing with. And they take that whole arc out of the movie, and I'm just like, whoa, like that movie would have been way better if you
Because
like.
he would have related to Robin way more, who was blaming himself for the death of his parents right there. You know, not only would he have seen this guy's like me, but he's feeling, he's interpreting it the same way. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I think where
Batman
this
and Robin.
conversation has gone has kind of spurred me to point out, like, as 90s children, like, I think the ultimate, like, example of what Batman is the animated show, because the movies have a lot of different kind of flavors of what Batman is.
I definitely believe that the animated series has influenced the movies greatly. Like some of the origin stories, like Mr. Freeze's story, for example.
True.
Like that was translated into Batman and Robin, the movie, right?
Yeah.
And it was really bad.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
And it's not that anyways.
Everybody, chill.
All right, no, thank you, Tyler, for bringing us back on track to what we're talking about, the animated show.
Yes,
and
Tyler.
one of the things that I want, like what you said, and Renee brought up too. Girl Renee brought up. I'm boy Renee.
Yeah, stop referring to yourself in the
I
third
was gonna say, I was like, wait, I know who you're talking about.
For the people
Renee
who
is pleased.
Renee is very pleased. Renee is very, very pleased. What I want to talk about, mention was that Frack, John, I can't stop laughing.
I'm sorry, man. I was saying, I've heard you refer to yourself in the third person.
I mean, really?
But the consistency of the animated show, you know?
The animated show is
because the fact that Batman's villains, they always work in tandem. I feel like there's always some kind of, you know, we got to see a little bit of it in the movie, but I don't care to see Poison Ivy and Bane. You know, I don't need to see the two of them together. I want to see Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy together. I want to see like Joker rivaling Riddler. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you would have two chaotic kind of evils.
And that's what I was going to bring up. That cartoon brought a lot of humanity to those characters, to Riddler, to Mr. Freeze, to Mr. Freeze, I didn't know he had a wife. I didn't know that's why he was trying to find to steal that to find a cure. I'm like, this makes him not a villain. Like we're talking about last Spider-Man episode. Like, oh, are there villains in this show? Because his motivations are very, very human.
And you feel really bad for Clayface.
You really
Clayface's
do, yeah.
episode. I wanted to I was like, he melts, but like I was just like, you want to sob for the guy because he's been turned into a monster,
right?
You know,
and that cartoon brought us the latest Hollywood movie preparation, Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
This movie is a little bit. I think it's a bit too late. I thought she should come out sooner. Had her live action debut a lot sooner than she really did.
But she has a new show on the DC app right now too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of people like it too.
The cartoon one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only saw it because there wasn't, as you know, I love Frasier. They made a Frasier reference. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
In the Aquaman episode.
What magnificent word choice! You are truly the Shakespeare of the sea. I prefer to think of myself as the Dickens of the deep.
Hey, Deep Dickens, let's wrap up this episode of Frasier so we can get back to getting the hell out of here.
Yes. But no, that's the one thing that it brought up. And then another iconic, besides Kevin Conroy being the one true Batman, you know, in all of Batman Kingdom.
Batmandom.
Batmandom.
That's the name of this episode. Batmandom. Is that it gave us Mark Hamill as the Joker. And I will say the one
iconic
Joker.
Role.
Here's the thing. Everyone, and I got shit for this in film school. Everyone loved Jack Nicholson's Joker. I was never a fan of his Joker. I'm like, he's playing himself. He's playing a crazy guy.
A gangster. He's playing a ridiculous, like, zoot suit, like, squirting water out of the flower, like, woo, clown. You're like, eh.
He played the gangster, right?
Yeah.
Heath Ledger, I love Heath Ledger Joker, but again, he is the anarchist.
Mm-hmm. And he's actually like cuckoo.
Jared Leto was another version of
He was a douche.
Say his name.
That was so hard to watch.
It
it's
exists,
like, bro,
though,
you're trying so hard, man.
He exists in Batmandom now. Like he is a Joker in Jokerdom. And then there's Cesar Romero, who's the clown prince of crime. Mark Hamill embodied all of those to make, to me, the one definitive Joker. And I to me, he is my one true Joker. I think
Your OTJ?
What's up?
Your OTJ? Your one true Joker?
J.
Yes, Mr. J. Well, that was a good joke.
That was good. That was good.
That was really good, dude.
I've been working on it for a while, but
Renee, to take off what you're saying, I agree. Like that Joker, like he has everything that I like about the Joker, and it is that take on the Joker that like makes the Joker one of my favorite villains, because because the Joker himself, and what I like about the Joker, and what I feel like, I really like you said, I really like Heath Ledger's Joker, who doesn't, but he lacks something for me, and what he lacks, Mark Hamill has, which is this idea that he's a scary character.
Right.
Joker is a scary character, but he also laugh heartily too. You know what I mean? He's the Joker. Like he also
has to contain himself. He's like, ooh.
Right. You know what I mean? But it's like this dude is frightening, but he's also absolutely hilarious too. You know what I mean?
Yes, he really is.
Yes. Freaking, it's that
his
dynamic
deadpan.
that makes me love him. Like
his deadpan deliveries.
Like there's a scene in one of the animated series. The Joker is like standing on the side of the street, and he like pulls his pant leg up, like he's trying to like, you know what I mean? Like he's trying to like wave, he's like waving the Batmobile down, like
yeah.
And it's like that is so absolutely hilarious. Like that's so funny, you know what I mean?
And the fact that he goes the lengths to make these like ridiculous, like he has the flower that squirts the water, but then he also has the other flower that squirts the acid and melts a person's face. He's like, oh, guess I got you. Not really though, and like, oh, and he just stands like, he's like, some of his deliveries were just like, I don't know if you guys heard Hamill as that Joker reading the Given to Madness.
No, I have not.
The monologue at the end of Killing Joke, when the Joker's explaining why he did what he did, and basically trying to tell Batman to like go ahead and kill him after he handicaps Barbara Gordon, and he reads it as Hamill reads it as his Joker, and it's incredible. And just like, because the deliveries there has said that you feel like there's this maniacal mastermind, but there's all these different like facets and parts of his mind that like something like just boop, and like suddenly, you know, he goes from having this incredible laid out plan to like, oh, that person really pissed me off, and like will go out of his way, you know, to like crash like a plane on someone because they looked at him wrong or something, you know, like he can carry out these maniacal plans, but he just gets distracted by the fact that he can't control parts of himself. You know what I mean? Like if he were to keep his ducks in a row, he would have taken down Gotham, but he can't pass on, you know, building a ticking time bomb out of an alarm clock with a little, you know, laughing Joker guy on it. Like that's what he has to do.
And that's what I liked about that's what I like about that world, that Batmandom. I'm gonna call it DC animated the Batmandom verse, because that's what it is. Batman founded that freaking anime.
Right.
Because then it went into Superman, then it went to JLA, and those threads carried on to the Justice League, Batman Beyond, and the Justice League. I'm like, those characters came back.
Yeah, Bruce Timm.
What's up? Yeah, because it's Bruce Timm. See, I want to see him do some Marvel stuff, just because I'm like, dude, your stuff is amazing for DC. What would you do for Marvel? Yeah. No Venom, please.
Ooh.
Yeah, no.
Another notable Joker voice, by the way, John DiMaggio, who voiced Bender.
Yes.
Does an incredible Joker in Red Hood. Under the Red Hood.
So, who's got a camera? Ooh, get one of me and the kid first. Then you and me, then the three of us, and then one with the crowbar. Then...
You be as quiet as possible, or I'll put one in your lap first.
Party pooper. No cake for you.
I love that scene.
The scene where he breaks out of the interrogation room with the
We gotta give the kids point. He brought this thing together. Let's take a picture of him and I. And then one with the crowbar.
And then one with the crowbar.
That was amazing. Oh, party pooper. No cake for you. What did you guys think about Kevin Richardson's Joker? I was just so like
it grew on me.
See, it grew on me. It took a minute. I'm like, I was not a fan at first. I'm like, it's not.
Which one is he voicing that in?
The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. Okay.
The Batman.
That's the okay.
It's like it's hard to accept at first because you're just coming from Mark Hamill, the greatest Joker of all time, and you can tell that what's his name? Kevin Michael Richardson, right?
I think so.
You could tell he's doing it. You could tell he's trying to emulate Mark Hamill. So it's like it's hard to get, but like the more I watched it, like the more I could like respect it for what it was. And like,
well, he won an Emmy.
On you.
He won an Emmy for that voice, and Mark Hamill didn't. So I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah, I didn't know that he won an Emmy, and because I guess Mark Hamill interviewed him, he was like, "Dude, what the hell? You got an Emmy for pretty much kind of doing my voice."
Yeah, that's messed up.
I don't know if that's. I think
Conroy
he was joking.
won Emmys.
I think he was joking.
Hamill didn't. Okay.
But yeah, I didn't know that Kevin Michael won a role for that Batman. But all right, so let's go talk to something one of the other one in the Batman universe, Batman Beyond. Like that to me was an amazing like, oh, this is a continuation. Like, oh, Batman grows old. There's someone you pass right. So at first, I wasn't a fan of Batman Beyond because I had just seen the Mask of Zorro. And I'm like, it's the old man giving it to the new man, to the young man.
Right.
I stole this from the Mexicans. How dare you? Like, we get nothing. But no.
The first time someone stole something.
You got Anthony Hopkins.
Is this true? This is true. We didn't get Anthony Hopkins. But we also got Kevin Conroy, Batman Beyond.
True.
Yeah, so if Michael Keaton were to don like something else in the Batman in the current DC universe, I would hope they did a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton.
That would be cool. I would be down for that.
I would watch that before anything else DC puts out.
I think what was really unique about that was that, as said, since we had grown up watching, you know, this Kevin Conroy character you know, step in, and like some of those scenes of watching him where he does have that really fatherly sense of not even just to Dick Grayson, but like, you know, even stepping in and trying to even console like Harley Quinn, and like different times that like finally seeing him at this point that like you're seeing him in Batman Beyond stepping back into that role again, where like he's lost everybody else, and almost like he's like almost like, can I do this again? Like, can I get it attached to like, you know, this Terry kid? Like, is this dangerous what I'm doing? Because he could die just like a lot of other people I've seen that. And you're what, you know, it said it's like almost like his old man Logan, but he's become the Oracle. Like he's the guy running computers and getting his equipment and stuff. Like, and I really enjoy it.
And the only reason why he gave it up because like, I had to use a gun. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. Like,
right.
So, yeah. And that was what I liked about it. This is really.
He sits himself down at his computer, being Mr. Great Detective that he is, and he uses the internet. That's what he does.
Yeah, there's a whole episode with Dick Grayson being older and Barbara Gordon being older, where Terry goes and finds them. And
was there a Dick Grayson episode? I don't remember seeing that one.
I don't remember Dick Grayson. I remember Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, I remember Barbara.
I remember Barbara, but
Tim Drake was Return of the Joker.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but that was Tim Drake.
Yeah,
it was Tim Drake then. Okay, but the whole point of the episode is figuring out like why they had a falling out with Batman, and they were just like,
that was Return of the Joker. Yeah, that was an amazing movie episode.
As much as we've talked about in Marvel and the fact I love Spidey as an independent character with all of his, Batman's got the singular best array of just universe, like from Ra's al Ghul to like freaking like Killer Croc is like one of the scariest villains to me. This dude who'll just bite your head off and eat you,
right?
But at the same time pummel you with his fists if he wanted to, and then talk to you. Like he'll laugh at you while he's eating you. You know, like like Clayface and Harvey. You know, like Two-Face and the Riddler, the Penguin. Like incredible spread, and he's the man. The man single-handedly for a long time was this dude protecting Gotham on his own. You know.
And that's
reluctantly accepted sidekicks, you know?
That's one thing I liked about Batman. Well, first of all, what you said, I completely agree. It's the freaking best rogues gallery of any hero ever. Not even anyone else in the running. Like, I would say Spider-Man is a second, but I wouldn't even say close second. Like, his villains. But, like, I like those episodes when you're watching Batman. You can pretty much, it's like, you can categorize them by the villains.
Right.
You know, you're like, oh, this is a Joker episode. Okay.
And
this
since
is a
he spares everyone, that's how he comes into the fact that Ra's al Ghul eventually almost becomes an ally of sorts. And the fact that he can have a relationship with Talia al Ghul in all these ways that, like, they all hate the fact that he won't kill them, you know?
Yeah.
So he's, like, interceding on all these characters, these terrible people, and he stops them, and he's like, but I'm not going to kill you. And it's like, you know, and you see that over time that they like almost resent him. Like, instead of putting me in a cell, you should have just killed me. It's like, yeah, well,
I'm not going to give you what you want. It's kind of like how Catholic of him. I'm sorry.
Sorry, CJ, I didn't mean to interrupt, but just to your point.
No, it was a good segue.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up this episode?
Yeah,
we got a
I just
minute
want to
left.
say, because oh boy, a minute. I just want to say really quick, we did the other episodes, and I was thinking a lot about how like X-Men and Spider-Man were like so different, but then I realized that Batman, instead of being influenced by the comics, influenced the comics.
Right.
Like they added Harley Quinn because of this. They added I don't know.
Not just adding, but like the tone of the comic transformed in the 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
For my closing sentiment real quick is that I've just always admired Batman because the fact that Batman's not his secret identity. Bruce Wayne is his secret identity. To the sense that that's like not what the thing that when he's really donning the cape is when he has to dress up as Bruce and pretend he's this rich, careless asshole when he's actually the guy in the cowl. That's like who he is, you know? And like to a T, like not like a Superman with a Clark Kent or Spidey with putting on the mask. Like he's a nerdy photographer and he's a nerdy superhero. Here's Mr. Have to high class it to keep up the facade. But in the meantime, he's like, I want to be out there all times until I die, You know,
Right.
that's just there's complete antithesis. I love that.
That is the thing about DC characters. It feels like Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Green Lantern are the true person, and Hal Jordan, Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, and the Prince are the
Who
masks.
they play, right?
Yeah, it was vice versa for Marvel.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but again, I'm gonna make my Marvel kind of guy, but I do appreciate and respect the DC characters. Any final thoughts before? Okay, CJ, girl, Renee.
No, you know, Batman. Yeah, the Batman series was great, and I really like how dark they allowed themselves to be for a kids' cartoon. Spider-Man's cartoons are shooting laser. Batman's villains had actual guns.
Guns, yeah.
Yeah. Renee.
For me, Batman the animated series was an introduction to Batman for me, and it was a great start. Like that.
Oh yeah.
That was the series that got me hooked into the Batmandom.
Batmandom.
Yes.
Spoiled. You were spoiled.
Yeah. And so it definitely has set the bar high for what is quality storytelling for me as far as the Batman story goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just I liked it for what it was, and I wish we could get more like that.
Me too. You liked it a lot. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. Okay. So that is it for this episode of Frack the Canon. We'll see you next fracking time, same fracking channel.